Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independent Street NOLA, and I am here to talk about the last full moon of 2021, which is today, December 18th. I believe it's at its peak here in New Orleans around 8 o'clock p.m., which means half the world will be having this full moon early in the morning on the 19th. So let's dive into it, shall we? So it's a full moon, which means the moon and the sun are opposite of each other. So the divine feminine is hanging out in Gemini right now, which is the moon, and the divine masculine is hanging out in Sagittarius. Because it's still Sagittarius season, we're about to move into Capricorn season on the 21st, although Michelle and I will be having a little chit chat about it on the 20th on her YouTube channel, Michelle Embree. I've been posting about it and she has too. So if you guys want to stop by and talk solstice, we'll be doing that on December 20th, the day before the winter solstice. So back to this full moon in Gemini. So this is the last full moon of 2021. Thank God. And it is a powerful full moon for many reasons, if we will. One reason being it's opposite of the galactic center. The galactic center is the middle of the Milky Way. And I giggle because I don't know why they just don't say the middle of the Milky Way. I guess the galactic center sounds a lot cooler. But basically that's where, that's the ultimate void. That's where everything is born, right? That's where everything comes from. You know, people also see this as a portal energy. We can access anything, other dimensions, other portals, in that energy is hitting the earth right now, right? So this is also a great time with this full moon to release everything that really no longer serves you. And I know I say that just about every full moon, but this full moon is really a good, keep releasing to the fact that that you are becoming, like you release so deeply that it's allowing, it's giving you space to allow, right? Bringing things in. Gemini is the twins. Gemini can be seen in its lower energy as duality, black and white, good or bad. I see Gemini in its higher energy, right? The twins, masculine, feminine, always. It's an air sign, right? So it has to do with thinking. It has to do with the mind. It is the first air sign when we do on the wheel. So, but to me, Gemini in its highest form is gathering that information, perceiving things through your divine masculine self, through your divine feminine self, and then integrating it, right? Always looking, always thinking, always processing that information. Thank you. Always processing that information, right? And then, and that's in its highest form, right? So you're always processing this information, gathering, like we say, like the journalist, right? And then you have the sun in Sagittarius. And I was looking and they were saying like the lower form of Sagittarius is that it's so judgy. It's just judgy. And I was like, isn't that the lower form of all signs, friends? But in Sagittarius, it's really judgy, right? So I think that fits in with the lower vibration of Gemini. So if you're in a lower Sag vibration, you're just really judgy, and it's either this or that. There's no in between, right? But the higher vibration of Sagittarius is the adventurer, right? And he goes and he sees how other people live, and when he's in his highest self, realizes that, oh, this is how they live, and that's great, and it totally works for them, and this is how they live, and it's great, and it totally works for them. And then he brings all these little pieces of information, and then he integrates it into himself. in order to see how he should live, right? So in their highest forms, I believe, well, I mean, in their lowest forms, I think they work well together, but in their highest forms, it is really masterful to go and process and see things and integrate them with both sides of our masculine, feminine selves, and then integrating it and then realizing like, oh, okay, this is fine for them to live this way. This is fine for them to live this way. And, you know, it's just that idea of all these options, and allowing, because there is space, there is enough room. You know, when you're in lower duality, it's like this or that. There's no room for growth. There's no room for space. And this full moon is really releasing all that, right? It's really releasing the idea that you're either this or that. You can be whatever you want, right? You can be who you're supposed to be. You know, to me, it's still releasing this big theme of codependency, codependent ideas, codependent relationships, whether like it's with, you know, parents, managers, boyfriends, girlfriends, thoughts, money, you know, all this stuff, all that's being released. This full moon in Gemini is just like, clear it out. I was talking to Michelle, and I told her I felt like 2021 was my entire life smashed into 1 year. Like every little thing that I've ever kind of like touched on in the last 43 years literally came back up and touched on it one more time in 2021. And, you know, I dealt with it with higher knowledge, and we dealt with it, you know, I say we because me and the team, from a different place, you know, and it's good to let all that stuff go. It's good to not to be, you know, spinning in all those things of, you know, past haunts, right? It's just like time to let them all go. I also think it's very interesting, thank you, that this last full moon of 2021, where we're having this huge release, is in Gemini, and the South Node is in Gemini, and then the North Node is in Sagittarius, and the galactic center right now is in Sagittarius. So I know I don't talk about the nodes often, but I also think like that lining up for this last full moon, moving into Capricorn, I think, and into the new year, I think is also something that needs to be just brought up and brought to our attention. Like we are really, you know, the South Node is what we're leaving behind. The North Node is what we are striving to, you know, so leaving seriously that idea of duality, right and wrong, good or bad. It has to be this way or you're failing. You know, we are really just clearing that out. And then the Sagittarius, the adventurer, you know, going to see like what's working now, you know, not necessarily what's working then, but what's working now, because things do keep changing. Things do keep moving forward, you know, so this is a great time, like I said, just for this huge release of just like duality, and anything that bums you out, you can just release, put it out there so long. You've got the twins to help move it out, right? You got two workers to help move this out, right? You can put it on the back of the centaur and let it ride away, R-I-D-E, ride away. So this is a great moon. This is really a great moon to really just come into yourself, illuminate where you've grown in so many ways. And if you don't want to go down a checklist, just illuminate that you did it. You did it. You got through 2020. You got through 2021. We're moving into 2022. I'm wearing my orange for that sacral chakra that we're going to be working with big time in 2022. So let it go, you guys. I can't say that enough. I really think there's been a lot said, and it needs to be just a little more simpler. Like, it needs to be a little more simpler. It's the last full moon of 2021. Do some rituals. Thank yourself for how you've grown. You know, be open to downloads, since it is, you know, opposite of that galactic center. And also, you know, that galactic center is, it's a black hole, so it's also sucking in energy. So literally just let it, just lay there and just let it suck all the stuff out of you that you no longer need, and that maybe you don't even know consciously, right? Like I always say, you know, known or unknown, seen or unseen, just let it be gone, let it go away. illuminate what it is that needs to be seen and shown and shine through, right? Because this is our time to, when I say really come into yourself, I mean really, like, drop the expectations. Or if you're in industries, my friends that are in the industry, you know, you can't keep going down the path that was set before 60 years ago. It's really time to blaze a new trail. It's really time to come into your own. It's really time just to be and allow. That's one thing about Sagittarius that I really do appreciate about Sagittarius, is that it allows. And also, because they're both mutable signs, Gemini is mutable air, Sagittarius is mutable fire. I mean, there's nothing holding anything. It can just go, and it can just release, and it can just go to a higher level. So that is our full moon pep talk of 2021. I did, and I usually don't do this, but I did pull a couple cards. But I pulled cards from the Kyle Gray deck, because I just think it's a great deck of angels and ancestors. So I asked, what is a good spirit to be working with this full moon going into 2022? And Magic Guardian came up. Isn't that a beautiful card? I know it's totally backwards. So Magic Guardian came up, and it says, unlock the magic within. And this has a book, but I'm not going to read from the book. And then I can't make this up. The Winter card came out. And the Winter card says, take care of your needs. So work with Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within you, and take care of your needs. And then I pulled two cards from the New Orleans Oracle deck, since we're here in New Orleans, and I do love Fatima. She has a great shop here, and you can also buy her deck online and maybe in some Barnes & Nobles. And the card that came out was the Awakening card, which I just think goes perfectly with our pep talk and the Galactic Center. And I can feel the love from that card. I just want to keep it here for a while. And also just coming into yourself. I think it's so beautiful. And then the other card that came out was the Gratitude card. So give thanks that you're moving forward. Give thanks. Just give thanks. I think you guys get it. I'm sorry, it's blurry. Okay, my babies. Like I said, if you want to visit with me and Michelle on YouTube, which we will practice, and then the time it happens, it'll probably be a technical difficulty, but it's on Michelle's YouTube, Michelle Embree's YouTube channel. Once again, thank you guys for going through all the full moons and new moons with me for 2021. It's been a wild ride. It's been such a wild ride. And so I appreciate all of you. And I appreciate the fact that you guys are brave in moving forward. You're all my little Sagittariuses right now. Your hooves on the ground moving forward. So thank you. I'm excited for 2022, and I'm excited that we get to go through this together. I really am. Okay, you guys, have a great full moon. Bye.